Yes, children, welcome back to the important rulers of Gupta's period. See, previously we have seen how Gupta's period was actually established in 320 AD or CE. That Gupta empire was established by Chandragupta I, who is the founder of Gupta's dynasty, Chandragupta I, when 320 AD or CE. And actually he started his rule, he established his empire at Magadha. Whenever he married a princess of the Lichavi, he got Magadha. So he started his rule from Magadha and he extended his empire up to Prayaga, which is also called Allahabad. In that way, Chandragupta I was an able administrator. So here what you have understood, the Gupta's dynasty, Gupta empire was established in 320 CE. How he could establish his empire at Magadha? Actually this place he got whenever he married the princess of Lichavi. So they gave that place as a tribute to the Chandragupta I. So he started his rule from Magadha. And he could extend his kingdom up to Prayaga. So because of that reason, even he had the title of Maharajadi Raja. Who had the title of Maharajadi Raja? Chandragupta I. What is the meaning of Maharajadi Raja? King of Kings. So that is about Chandragupta I. Now come back to the Samudragupta. Samudragupta is the son of Chandragupta I. And among all the rulers of Guptas, he was able administrator, and he was not only able administrator, he was a military genius. He was a patron of learning. That means he encouraged learning. He was a celebrated poet. That means he himself was a poet. And also he was a musician. How do we know he was a musician? That by observing some coins on which that a picture, image was there, that he was playing veena. And even his important conquests were actually from Himalayas in the north up to Narmada in the south, and Brahmaputra in the east and Yamuna in the west. In that way, he could defeat nearly 20 kingdoms. In that way, he was an able administrator. So what do you know? What actually you understood regarding Samudragupta? Samudragupta was the son of Chandragupta I, and he was not only an able administrator, he was a military genius, he was a patron of learning, and he was a celebrated poet himself, and he was a musician, and his conquests, that his kingdom was extended from Himalayas in the north to Narmada in the south, and Brahmaputra in the east to Yamuna in the west, and he could defeat nearly 20 kingdoms. So he conquered nearly 20 kingdoms. In that way, we come to know about the greatness of Samudragupta. And coming to the Chandragupta II. Chandragupta II, son of Samudragupta, another important ruler of Guptas, and even he had another name also, that is Vikramaditya, and that's why he is called Chandragupta Vikramaditya. And his capital earlier was Pataliputra, and again that capital shifted to Ujjain. Pataliputra, so in previous chapters also you have seen that the present name of Patna was Pataliputra. So earlier it was called Pataliputra, now it is Patna, which is the present capital of Bihar state. And Ujjain, another important place which you can see in present Madhya Pradesh. And Chandragupta II, how the Samudragupta encouraged the learning, and Chandragupta II also encouraged some of the poets during his period only. He encouraged, he patronized 9 poets who are called Navaratnas, and among them you can see Kalidasa is also one. So Kalidasa, another important person, Aryabhatta, who discovered, who introduced zero, and Harisena, another important personality, was there during Chandragupta's two period. So this is about a brief information about the rulers of Guptas. Now let us see how their administration. See, Gupta's administration was well known, famous, and even in the introduction itself I told you that their period was described as golden age in the Indian history. So the central government was headed by they had strong central government and king was the head. How our country now is divided into so many states, like that their entire kingdom was divided into so many bhuktis. How their kingdom was divided? Bhuktis. And who is the ruler of bhukti? Uparika or governor. And how our country is divided? So many states. And each state is under governor or not? Each state is under governor. In the same way here also, the entire kingdom was divided into so many bhuktis and the ruler of bhukti was Uparika or governor. And in order to help governor, some officials must be there. Those officials were called Kumaramatyas. What officials are called? Kumaramatyas. Those officials actually assisted governors. So nowadays you can see district collectors will help governor, revenue divisional officers will help the governor. In the same way here also Kumaramatyas, who were officials, they assisted the governor. And again these bhuktis again divided into Vishayas. How the bhuktis were divided? Vishayas. And who are the rulers of Vishayas? Vishayapatis were the rulers of Vishayas. Understood? And here one more important thing you have to know, that these Uparikas, those Uparikas, most of the Uparikas are actually come from the royal family. That means from the family of the king only you can see all these governors. So that is about administration. And their important occupation was agriculture, and most of the income was actually coming in the form of taxes. And they had important the important industry during that period was textile industry, and some other industries also you can see in a small scale. Those are pottery and stone cutting, metal casting, gold, silver, copper, bronze. All these industries existed during the Gupta's period. And even they had trade with the Asian countries, particularly Southeast Asian countries, and even with the Mediterranean region. With which parts of the world they had trade? With Asia, Southeast Asian countries, and even Mediterranean region also. And what actually they traded? They traded those are pearls, quartz, which is used generally in the preparation of gold, and jade also. So in that way they traded which items? Pearls, quartz, jade. So these were traded during Gupta's period. And finally come to their cultural development. In what way? They encouraged the cultural activities. Were people happy or not? See, during Gupta's period, they established so many educational institutions, and some important centers for learning. Those are Nalanda, Taxila, Sarnath. What are those? Nalanda, Taxila, Sarnath. And here you should know about the important thing about Nalanda. Nalanda, one university was established by Guptas. One university. So here Nalam means lotus. What is the meaning of Nalam? Lotus. Da means giving. So what is the meaning of Nalanda? Lotus giving. Lotus giving means what? Lotus is symbol of what? Lotus is a symbol of knowledge. So what is the meaning of Nalanda? Nalanda means knowledge giving. In such a way, an important university was established by Guptas at Nalanda. So now also you can see Nalanda in Bihar state, and the present it was completely renovated by the central government, which was actually destroyed due to natural conditions. And during that period, nearly more than 10,000 students were studying, the students who came from other countries. And what were the subjects actually taught there? Those were medicine, astronomy, philosophy, Vedic literature, and even other subjects also. As other subjects, sciences also were taught in this university. What was the university? Nalanda University. So other places also there, Taxila, Sarnath, which were the centers for learning, which were the centers for cultural activities. So in that way, the Guptas, why the Guptas period was described as the golden age in Indian history, because they not only extended their empire, even they encouraged learning also. That's why their period was called the age of golden. That is golden age in the Indian history. The age of gold. That is particularly the golden age in the Indian history. So this is about Gupta's period. Another important topic in our 6th standard. Thank you.